Hey, it's me. Oh my gosh, I forgot something. I'll be right back. Ah, I'm trying to cook my dinner. Yeah, I know it's almost 9 o'clock and I haven't eaten. So I'm probably looking a little more worn than usual, but today I am continuing working with my licensing and ordination team, so I'm kind of like wiped out. So, anyway, today is day 84 and countdown day 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Maybe it must be 7. I don't know. Can't keep up with it. Anyway, it's also National Strawberry Rhubarb Pie Day. That kind of threw me because I have nothing to make strawberry rhubarb pie, and that's probably well made one of my favorites. But what I did is I hadn't gotten my pea pod order yet, so I was able to add it on. And I was a good girl. I ordered half a pie, not a whole pie. So that ought to be pretty good. It is also Call Your Doctor Day. So a lot of us have been putting off our appointments because of the, staying in self confinement, whatever, and self isolation. So I know I have put mine off, and it's getting to the point where in Connecticut the numbers are going down to a point where it's probably going to be a good idea to go and important. So today I am talking about name your fatigue. Fatigue is a word that we're hearing a lot more lately. There's all kinds of, it's like confinement fatigue and um, cabin fatigue and stress fatigue, and you hear a new one every day. So no, haircut fatigue. And fatigue is it's a weakening from stress. You're just tired. And there's healthy fatigue, like if you've had a day when you've been really busy and doing lots of stuff, and then there's the not so healthy fatigue where you've just felt so down and depressed, and it is a long haul. And I'm very grateful that I am as comfortable as I can be as I'm doing this. But like everyone else, I suffer fatigue too. Probably not as bad as some because I know the importance of taking care of myself, yourself, ourselves. Uh, it's not like I don't experience it because I do. And it's not like sometimes I don't get weak and crabby because of it, because I do. And this is why you may not even know you're experiencing fatigue. Remember when you were a kid and you'd run around and run around and run around, and and your mom would say it's time to go to bed, and you'd go, I'm not tired, and you might fight going to bed, and then you go to bed and you're like gone before your head hits the pillow. Well, that's fatigue. We have been under stress and fatigue for a lot longer than we realize. As I just have to be honest, since at least November 2016, a lot of us came under stress. Didn't matter how things worked out. Their divisions started to come between us, and we heard a lot of negative news all the time, and people were arguing, and Facebook got inflammatory and painful, and it just kept building and building. I know that a lot of people, myself included, have felt oppressed at times. You feel like, I don't know, is it worth No, no, I'm going to take that back right now because that would not cross my mind. Is it worth trying? Even making an effort, which that never even entered my mind. I don't know how it got in my mouth. Maybe somebody needed to hear it. But uh, it is oppression, which means you don't have a choice. And we felt for a long time we don't have a choice. And even when we think we have a choice, we don't have a choice because the law has been challenged. And then we have the people that are experiencing the oppression from um, Black lives not being respected and police brutality and a lot of people not understanding that. A lot of people aren't old enough to remember the separated drinking fountains and restrooms and people that had to sit on the back of the bus. Young people don't know. I mean, I was there at a certain age. You got to see a lot of history, so I was there. There has never been a more important time to take care of yourself. Um, I was just thinking as I think about fatigue, I think that for me, the fatigue that I probably feel the most is when I check the numbers every day. I check the statistics to see, is the curve flattening? Are the numbers going down? Is the virus, I just got a feeling it's going to weaken. It's going to weaken and subside at least for a while we hopefully come up with treatment and vaccination. But it is that every day you look and I don't look in fear, I look in hope. But even when you look in hope and then your hopes are dashed yet another day, it's really, really, it does fatigue. We are fatigued mentally, emotionally, physically, and psychologically. Because we are fatigued, we must address that fatigue because it will cause illness. The fatigue will, it will, the stress can give heart attacks and strokes and cancers, and we got enough stuff going on. We don't want to add any ill health to it to beat. So self-care is really important. One of the hardest things about self-care, I don't know about you, but when I practice self-care, I feel guilty. I know. I should know better. I know how important self-care is. But yet that A-type personality of mine wants to be going all the time, wants to be doing all the time. Crusader Rabbit wants to get out there and fight the good fight. I want to make sure I earn my keep. I want to make sure, So when I take time, even as a writer, I'm a writer. I love to write. Writing feeds my soul. And yet when I sit down to write, I get feeling guilty. Like I should be doing something more important. Well, I'm going to tell you, just like I work on telling myself, you can't afford not to take care of yourself. If you want to feel guilt about something, if you just have to feel guilt about something, how about you maybe feel guilt about not taking care of yourself? There's people that love you, that need you, that are waiting to hug you. There's games to play, there's travel to do, there's fun to be had. But if we want to go places and hug and do things and have fun, we must take care of ourselves now. We must address our fatigue now. We must address our fatigue daily and sometimes hourly. There has never been a more important time for feeding our body right, feeding our spirit, feeding our soul, feeding our mind good things. And yet, a lot of us put our energy and time into worrying, into fear, into doubt. So it's really important to take care of ourselves. I would like to remind you that we talked about taking a Sabbath. And, it's like I tried to explain how we have to turn it around from the commandments being something negative to being really good, important principles for how to live a good life. A Sabbath has a purpose. It's a time to take a day and do whatever you have to do to take care of yourself and to lift your consciousness to something higher. There is a higher power. And that higher power is just waiting to energize us. It's like we got the prong, the plug. We got that end. And there's an outlet. And that outlet is taking care of yourself and prayer and meditation. And we got to plug that plug in so we can recharge. I really ask you and invite you and encourage you and I urge you to look for the things that recharge you. Drop any guilt. Oh, well, I mean, if you spend, 2 weeks in a row sitting on your butt watching, brain dead TV, then I would say that's an issue. It's a matter of balance. We are way out of balance with taking care of ourselves. And this is a perfect time. Don't waste your time that you have to take care of yourself by worrying about when is it going to end. Yeah, I want it to end too. But when it's ended, I want to be strong, healthy, and happy. We have to do things we don't feel like doing. I did not feel like jazzercising tonight because I have been busy. The cat woke me up at 5 o'clock and I couldn't go back to sleep. Then I had to get to my meetings. Then I had to clean up the mess and do paperwork from the meetings. And then I had to prepare for tomorrow's meetings. And I was tired and I was crabby and I didn't want to do jazzercise. But I made myself do it because it's good for me. And where I was sluggish and miserable before I did it, fatigued, I did it. Now I have plenty of energy and I'm ready to go for the day and for tomorrow. So, the haircuts are coming. Oh my gosh, the haircuts are coming. The hugs are coming. Interesting, one of the things, I heard someone talking about sports. And so I tuned in because they were talking about there's no games, there's no this, there's no that. And I thought, wow, that's too bad because we need, sports are a great vent. We need to vent this energy and frustration. I do it in jazzercise. We need to get out there and do it. And I realized, I listened to the guy a little more, and you know what he said? He said, I'm glad there's no sports right now. And I went, what? He said, I'm glad there's no sports right now because people have an opportunity to think about other things that are important. And I went, well, you got a point there. It's like they say, no matter how thin you make a pancake, it still has two sides. We have to remember we're not alone. And we want to come through this. And we want to not only come through this, we want to come through strong, happy, and healthy. In the Bible, through all the times, it talks about wars and uprisings and everything. One of the things I learned in seminary, it says, God always leaves a remnant. Now, a remnant is a little piece of something. It is a part of the core that will multiply. Think of it like yeast, you know? So when this is over and we go back out into the world, a lot of people are going to be so fatigued, they're not going to be able to recover as quickly as we can. It's going to take them a lot more time, a lot more energy, a lot more effort. If we take care of ourselves, we're going to go out there and we're going to be like a little piece of yeast. We're going to have wisdom, we're going to have strength, we're going to have a positive attitude, and we will be able to leaven the whole loaf by lifting ourselves up. Remember, we are so not alone. They're like those protests, all the people that came out the streets, and they came out worldwide. And a part of the energy they came out for is George Floyd. And another big part is long-term oppression. And a little bit of it is the feeling of hopelessness during the virus. So, you're not alone. I'm not alone, even though I live alone. Well, I have my cat. I'd probably sleep later. Anyway, excuse me. I'm going to go eat my dinner now. It's only like after 9. You have a wonderful day. If you just tuned in, remember, in a couple minutes you'll be able to watch it from the beginning. Ask yourself this. What is your fatigue? What is your fatigue? And then fix it. Take care of yourself. Guilt-free. Be good to yourself. Don't do anything you're going to regret, you know? I bless you, I love you, and I behold the divinity in you. Namaste. Bye-bye.